So just in your own words, what is a mission trip?
What is a mission trip? To come and serve God and to do His work and help others that are in need.
Mission trip is just when you go anywhere and do something for someone other than yourself. And in most cases, it's doing God's work.
Let mercy fall on me. Everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of the Savior, the hope of nations.
This mission trip, 27 of us, packed up from the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont and around in the region and came to Monjas, Guatemala to volunteer our services at an orphanage called Shadow of His Wings. They have kids that come here for all different reasons, but most of them have no family, no home, no hope, and we just come here to volunteer and do whatever the orphanage needs us to do to help them minister to these children.
We come to the orphanage and we help with whatever they need help with, and we play with the kids and get to know them and make them feel special and loved like they should be.
Yeah, we play with them, we color, we play basketball, we help with their vacation camps. This year we got to play do like a Spartan race and a mud run and do all kinds of life skill games and team building competitions with them, and it's just really fun and special to be with them.
So far, we've witnessed to people, prayed for people, brought food baskets, and we went, did some Bible studies with people, as up to the dump. Well, it's not really a Bible study, but they call it VBS, Vacation Bible School. We've done work around the orphanage.
We had to dig some ditches and move some dirt and help with some irrigation systems for the projects to water fruit trees and stuff. And we also go out into the community in the dump and volunteer and bring food baskets and share the Word of God with the people down here that are less fortunate, and shop and buy food baskets to deliver to some needy folks that are hurting in town. And so yeah, it's some hard work sometimes, and it's some.
I love playing with the kids and getting to know them. They're all goofy and silly and really special, every one of them. Some of the hardest things probably are hearing the stories the kids have been through and the stories of their lives and how hard they have had it, even though some of them are only 5 and 6 years old. It's just really shocking to hear what they've had to go through.
James Project of Latin America is actually an organization. We're a nonprofit in Guatemala, and our mission really is to care for orphans and widows. And there are tons of orphans in Guatemala, and there's also tons of widows in Guatemala. We have 3 main programs, one of which is Shadow of His Wings Orphanage. It's probably the biggest program that falls under JPLA because it's an orphanage. And within Shadow, we're set up a lot differently than a lot of orphanages. We believe in putting children in homes and putting children in families. So most people, when they think of an orphanage, they think of a dormitory, or they think of a whole lot of children and 1 adult or 2 adults taking care of them. We put children, no more than 12 children, in one house, and they have a mother and a father in that house to care for them, or to help care for them, and to help raise them. We have a variety of ages in each home, so they're raised as a family, big sisters, big brothers, little brothers. And really, while they're there, we try to meet all of their needs, their medical needs, psychological needs, educational needs, physical needs, emotional needs. We try to truly be family to them and teach them what love is, and help them to rediscover their childhood and grow to be loving, caring, functioning adults in the real world. The second part of our program is our school, which is a big part of what we do too, because kids need, just like in the States, kids here need education in order to get ahead. There's not a lot of job opportunities here. There's not a lot of opportunities to advance here, but if you have education, that gives you a leg up. Only 30% of people graduate from 6th grade. Only 10 to 20% graduate from high school here. So if we can get our kids graduated from high school, they're in the top 10 to 20% most educated people in the country. And if we get them to university, then if they get through university, they can do a whole lot that most people can't do at that point. Our school is, we have won many national awards. We also win a lot academically. They have, in September also, they have different competitions in Monjas and around the state and around the country for public speaking, for debate, for art, for different things like that. And we always have winners in our school on a regular basis. And a lot of the winners are the kids that we have here within the orphanage, within our orphanage. We accept children for 4 reasons. We accept them for abandonment, neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and trafficking. All of our children come through the court system.
The judges, if they want to place kids with us, has to be approved by me. They'll call and say, we have a sibling set of 4, can you take them? I kind of look at our numbers and figure out if we have space. We look at gender to see, you know, that kind of thing, where we'll put them, and then I make the final decision. It's the hardest part of my job.
I mean, what even goes through your head at that moment? Because, of course, I'm sure you want to take absolutely everyone you can.
I would love to, but it's just not possible. We've had, calls for babies. Babies are really hard to say no to. Here recently we've had a lot of calls for teenagers and pregnant girls. I mean, as young as 11, 12 years old. We do get a lot of calls for boys. Boys are hard to place, and so we're trying to expand that part of the program to receive more boys, because if we can make a change in the culture of these boys, because they have the machismo mentality where they rule over the girls. If we can change that, then we can change the whole country, I feel like. Seeing lives change is the biggest reward for us here. I can give you many examples of kids who come in and not even being able to bathe themselves, never having to, not being able to sit at a table and eat with utensils. And to see the transformation in a short amount of time is just amazing. I mean, and not just attitude changes, but just complete mindset changes of having never experienced what a family should look like or be, and be a part of a family, to becoming a son or daughter for the very first time, a true son or daughter, and to be a part of a family it's incredible. I love seeing that. And they come in, they're scared, they're malnourished, they're abused, they're hurting, and within weeks, sometimes more than others, but within sometimes even days, you see a smile return to, or maybe for the first time they never really had a smile or a joy about them. That will never get old. Love that.
I just don't know where they find all the joy. The first time I came down here, I came to help save these 100 little kids from God knows what, and these children saved my life. They just have so much love and so much joy inside of them, and they have no stuff. So where does the love and joy come from? It comes from relationships, it comes from God, and it's very infectious. The first time I came down, I had no relationship with Christ. I was new to the concept of God and the Holy Spirit, and like I said, these kids opened my eyes to what is really important.
I just think it's important to take what we learn from these trips and make sure we remember it at home in everyday lives, because when you see what happens here, and a lot of the time people think, oh, there's not really anything we can do, my opinion's not going to matter, my little bit of help won't matter. But every little thing that we do here and every little thing we do back home for someone, even if it's just smiling at someone.
I would say for anybody, find something bigger than yourself. Take your eyes off out of the mirror. Stop doing selfies and start focusing on others. And coming going to a third world country or a country in need and just serving for a while, it'll change your life. It did ours.
One thing we want everybody to keep in mind, that we want every team who comes to visit, every team member who comes to visit, to discover for themselves. And one thing that my husband and I discovered is what happens here makes a difference in the life of these children forever. And it makes a difference in the lives of their children. And it's going to make a difference in the lives of their grandchildren. So when people come here and they make an investment into Guatemala, they make an investment into the children of Guatemala, it does make a difference in their lives. But what we also want them to do is to take that back to where they live, because the reality is we have desperate hurting people here in Guatemala, but we know also there are desperate hurting people in Vermont. There are desperate hurting people all over the United States. And part of what we're created to do as human beings is help care for these people. And you can care for them if they're your neighbors, you can care for them if they're in your town, in your country, or if they're in Guatemala. But we all should be doing something to help those in need, because the reality is when we come from the United States, the poorest of our poor are still among the richest in the world. And all of us can do something, whether it's giving of your time, whether it's giving of your talent, or whether it's giving of your money, or whether it's going, you can make a difference. And all of us are called to do something.
If you're interested in this mission, it's called the Shadow of His Wings Orphanage. You can find them on Facebook, you can find them on social media, on the internet, also under the umbrella of the James Project of Latin America. They have so many needs and so many wants, and they do more than just these kids. They reach out in the community, the widows, the elders. It's just an amazing program that the more support they can get, the more they can do. So.
Author of salvation, he rose and conquered.